Okay. Hi. Welcome. I'm Amanda. I'm at the Battleground Games and Hobbies Abington location. Oh, that's going to be annoying. I forgot to mute my computer. And I'm going to be painting some figures for a board game today. I just finished up the Fallout figures, the Fallout board game from Fantasy Flight. I finished those up. I'll show those off. I just sealed them a little bit ago, like maybe 20 minutes ago. So they're still a little tacky, but I'll show them off when they're dry. And I'm going to be working on a couple of different things today. I have the trucks from, this is from Wasteland Express. Just making sure I'm in shot there, and that actually looks pretty good. This is the 9.9. No, this is the Buzzsaw, the Bone Saw, folks, I think. Whatever the blue one is.
Yeah.
No, the blue one's the Railman.
Oh, you're right.
Blue one's the Railman, 9.9 is red, and Bonesaw is green, I think. But yeah, there's a bunch of trucks from Wasteland Express. Thank you, Andy. And I'm going to be doing some of those. There are a lot of trucks in Wasteland Express, so there's like 3 Raider trucks. The Raider crews are the 9.9, which is basically Route 66 sign flipped up on its end. The Bonesaw, which is a saw blade with a skull in the middle, and the Railman, which is like railroad crossing, R&R. So it's Railman. So this is the Railman truck. They're distinguished more by color than by like any mechanics. It doesn't really end up mattering in the base game. Maybe in the campaign it would matter, but in general, it only matters in that when you move around the board, if you end your turn in a space that has one of the Raider truck symbols in it, or more, you can choose to like which to move and where to move it to. And that means that you're messing with your opponents. You can either get it out of your way, or you can move it into an opponent's way, or both, if that works for you, which it might well. But functionally, they behave the same. You want to tell the difference between them so that you know which truck to move. But beyond that, they don't really do different things. You may get a quest to visit different, like to go like fight each camp. But yeah, they functionally, mechanically, they behave identically. So you want the trucks to be distinguishable by color, but you know, there's also wooden panels and metal panels. So I'm going to be finishing up this one. This one's the Railman. And I'm going to be putting their symbol on the side of their truck. They have this metal sheet on the side of their truck. I'm going to be painting sort of a swipe of paint across it and their Railman symbol over it. I have the other 2 Raider trucks. So I got one here, blank, and I got one here. So one's going to have to be sort of reddish themed and one's going to have to be sort of greenish themed. Then we have the Eyeless, who is one of the like bosses. There's a goal both in the potential base game. You can have a goal to go fight him. Yes, he is like basically a car centaur, not to scale with the rest of these guys. And then we have the trucks for, this is for the Fallen. She drives a modified school bus. It's got all this metal sheeting and chicken wire on it and stuff. So I'm going to be playing around with that. And Big John, who has a big rig. Big John gets extra trailer space. He starts. The Fallen gets she gets a companion, a sleeper cab, and armor. So she's pretty badass. But Big John can carry more stuff, which is really useful. So that's Big John. The side of his truck actually says Stinky Big John on it, but the scale on that, it says Stinky Big John right here in a big circle. Got his card. looking over at the camera to see. So you can see it says Stinky Big John right there. Circle there. So Stinky Big John. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that level of detail down. This is the Fallen's school bus. Big armored bus there. So that's what I have out for Wasteland Express. I don't expect to actually get any of those fully done. The Raider trucks probably. The Raider trucks take, now that I know sort of how I want to do them, the Raider trucks are probably, we're talking like 45 minutes per truck, and that's from like base coat to finishing details. The eyeless, I don't really have. I'm going to have to look up a picture for that, but I have the instruction booklet out, so that probably has a picture I can use. The Fallen, there are like 6 more character trucks for me to paint. So I have like Zero has a truck, and there's IMAT has a truck, and where's some of the others? Tweak has a truck. There's a whole bunch. There's like a converted caddy. And they're all different. I did notice something interesting when I was sort of looking them over. The cards, and these are the only real artwork you get for the vehicles. The cards only show you one side of the vehicle, obviously, right? So I was thinking, well, I'll just have to sort of wing it for the other side. I've got a guide for this side, but I don't really have a guide for the other side. And then I realized the detail work on that, and you'll see it has like this sort of round bag packed onto there, and this is a more squared off one here. It's got this sheet over this wheel. It's got this bag here, this square box here, panel here. You turn it over and it's identical. They're functionally identical. They do exactly, it's the same mold. So the mold isn't like straight down the middle mirrored, because obviously this is tipped off to the side a little bit. This isn't exactly the same. This is pulled off a little bit. That all being said, the sides of the vehicles are exactly the same. So I'm not like disappointed in it, but I'm gonna have to tinker with it so that they don't look identical, because that's a little boring. And certainly the Raider trucks aren't. They've got these big metal panels on one side, and the other side is like a molded, textured wood. They're definitely not the same. They've got different stuff on top. So, I mean, all 3 of the Raider trucks are identical molds, but yeah. And Big John, same exact thing. You can look at the that panel that's on the side of that there, which in his model says Express, because all of these drivers are drivers for the Wasteland Express delivery service, which is the name of the game. And so he has this sign that says Express on the side, and it's got these 2 sort of ties pulling it down. It's got this sheet coming down here. The wheel here is covered like that, and you flip it over. Exactly the same mold. So they basically just used, they mirrored the mold and then made tiny little tweaks maybe to like the top and stuff so that it didn't look exactly the same on the top, but the sides are the same. They're just mirror images of each other. So I'm gonna have to do some work on that to make them not look like they've just been cloned from one side to the other. And then the other things I have, which I think I may end up working on after I've gotten some like base stuff done on the trucks. I have 2 of the figures from the Dark Crystal board game. So I have Jen, who's got his crystal shard there. Dark Crystal, one of my favorite movies. I loved it as a kid, still love it as an adult. This game came out from River Horse about a month ago, and Andy got it for me, my husband. And we have River Horse's Labyrinth game. And when I was looking at Dark Crystal, and here's Kira with Fizzgig. her pet, who is all mouth. And she's got wings, and I was at first like, oh man, you don't get to see her wings because she's got this cloak. But actually you can tell they're right here along this line, that her cloak actually parts right here, and her wings are this ridge, because you can see sort of the vein. They're slightly insectoid. This is her picture card, so you can see what her wings look like. Fizzgig isn't in that picture, but I assure you, I know how to paint Fizzgig. We actually have a stuffed Fizzgig toy at home, plush. And there's Jen with his awesome leggings. I want his leggings. They're these like cross-hatched navy blue and gray. So I'm gonna be probably putting a base coat on them too. So this is a wide variety of things to do. We go from post-apocalyptic wasteland truckers to like high fantasy adventure for kids. So I'm gonna work on that a bit. I see that we do have it. We did get a new follower while we were offline, so that's awesome. So a welcome to Zest Odin Hunter, whoever you are. Probably not watching right now, that's fine, but I want to say thank you. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get started. I have a little bit of work I want to do on this truck. I put a wash over it, and I did some work to like make it look messy and gross, and it lost a lot of the blue. So I'm probably gonna go back over and refresh some of the blue parts. I've already decided that the 9.9 is gonna get some blood spatter on its cowcatcher. So I was using, what blues was I using? I was using Twilight Blue for a darker blue. I had a lighter blue, what was it? It wasn't that one. That's it, Ashen Blue. Yeah, so let's work on that. Let's do that. Got my brushes, got my water, got my tea on the other side of my camera so that I don't accidentally pick up my brush water, which I totally almost did the other day. We're gonna work on the Raider trucks to start with. It's actually warmer up here than I had thought it would be, so take off the sweatshirt. I may occasionally look down at my phone. I have a friend who is she's having a rough time right now, so I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that. So I apologize if I suddenly sort of stop talking and painting and I'm looking at my phone. It's not that I want to ignore the fact that I'm streaming. It's that I also want to be there for my friend, because not much I can do about what's going on, but I can at least talk to her. It's tough when you have a friend who's going through something really hard and you really have nothing you can do about it. It sucks. Yeah, I had wanted this to be a little like rusty and dirty, and it just, I went a little overboard on it, and it ended up muddying it up. And I'm not thrilled with how that came out, so one of the nice things about painting is that you can definitely go back over things. I mean, you don't want to slap too much paint on things because you'll end up with thick coats to the point where like you lose detail. But if you make a little mistake, you can go back over. If you'll notice, I'm not using fully opaque paint. I'm sort of letting there be a little bit of wetness on the brush. And that's so that I don't have like this super bright blue coming in like that. Yeah. I've noticed I do a lot of like smudging with my finger. If I feel like I've messed something up, I'll go in and just press it with my finger to blot it. That may not be the smartest move on my part in general, but it does mean I end up with like a lot of paint on my fingers. Don't mind that though. If you're gonna paint, you're gonna end up with paint on your hands. The funny part about getting super into painting like minis and stuff is that I was never a painting enthusiast when I was like in school. I was a creative writing sort. Like when I had to take like an art elective, it would always be a writing elective. That's looking a little better. I'm feeling better about that. It's a little more obviously blue. A little bit on the top here. Like the wash pooled up here. Using my brush to soak up some of the extra paint there. Yeah, that's a little better. I'm feeling, whoa, hey, sorry about that. Feeling a little better about that. I dirtied it up too much. I do want the bed of the truck to be nice and blue. So the beds of the trucks are actually functional, not just they're not just decorative. Like it's not just like, oh, they have a flatbed in the truck. No, they actually do carry materials. So one of the things I really love about this game is how detailed the actual game is. We'll hit those little pits with a tiny bit of wash later. This game is really detailed. Like, I've shown off the box on stream before. It's on the other side of the table, or I would show it off again right now, but the box is gorgeous. The box is really great. And what's really great about the box is that it's divvied up into like compartments and stuff, which is really cool. There we go. So it's divvied up into compartments, which is pretty awesome. So everything has its place. Like every truck has its own little well, its own little spot, which is really cool. And what I really love about that is that like nothing ever ends up like lost or mixed together. Yeah. But in the box, it also comes with like little tokens and stuff, all sorts of little tokens for mods to buy for your truck and equipment and stuff. But it's a delivery service game, right? You're a delivery driver. What are you delivering? You're delivering ammo, food, water. 3 essentials of the Wasteland. So you as a delivery truck driver are trying to pick up different cargo and deliver it to places that need it. So all throughout the board are distributed different settlements. And if you visit those settlements, they might be selling, they might be buying, and there's an economy tracker that comes with the game where depending on how much demand there is for something, it goes up in value. If there's not much demand for it, it's down in value. If there's a ton of demand for it, it goes up in value, etc. Raiders in their beds, the beds of their trucks, can carry 2 cargo. So when you fight a raider, you get to the raider cards, the raider deck that tells you who you're fighting, like what level fighter you're fighting, have different token, have symbols on them to tell you what the next truck is going to carry. So if I beat a raider and that card had like an ammo and a food, the truck will then go back on the board carrying ammo and food. If I beat them. If I don't, then tough for me. But the tokens for the different resources fit perfectly into the back of the trucks. They're just the right size to carry 2 little piles of food and 2 little piles of water, like water tanks, and or 2 boxes of guns and ammo. And the tokens themselves are like little molded plastic. They aren't just like, oh, there's a little box and it says water or something. They're actually little like drums, like 50-gallon drums of, and they're blue plastic. The food is like wooden crates that have like, one of them is open and there's like little produce you can see inside. And the guns and ammo, one of the boxes is open and there's like a gun on top of it. So they're actually molded in very nice detail. I'm not going to paint those because there are a ton of them. And they're already color-coded. They don't really need to be painted. The trucks wanted paint though. So the other thing we're going to do, this truck is almost done. I want to clean up the hubcaps. I want to put some streaking in the flatbed of the truck, as if things have been dragged out of it and shoved into it and dragged out and shoved in. So I'm going to put a couple of like metallic streaks and then maybe a little like oil in the corners. We'll do a very light wash. Because yeah, I mean, if you have a pristine brand new pickup truck, yeah, your flatbed, your bed in your truck is gonna look gorgeous. Once you've had that truck for a while, it's gonna be worn. It's gonna have like, ruts in it. It's gonna have dents. It's gonna have like little rusty bits. It doesn't matter how well you take care of it and how much you clean it. If you use it on a regular basis, it's gonna show wear and tear eventually. That's why they sell like liners. So we're gonna, I think we'll do the metallic first, as if it's sort of cut through the paint. I'm also going to clean that up because I spotted it while I was turning the truck around. Kind of sad that I'm done with my Fallout figures. I was having a lot of fun painting them, and I've been playing Fallout again. for like the third time. One thing that I've discovered playing Fallout again is that I keep expecting things to be as difficult this time around as they were the first time I did them. For example, the first time I went down to Quincy in Fallout 4, I got my butt handed to me because there's like 2 guys in power armor, and they're gunners, and they're high-level gunners. And they've got like, one of them is up on top of the church, and he's got a fat man. And he's just like raining death down on you. Hear that? Yeah, not fun, not fun. And so the second time I did it by going up onto the highway. And I had a rough time that time, not because I was going over the highway, but because the stupid Brotherhood were like attacking the gunners in Quincy. So there's a vertibird hanging around, being a giant pain in my behind because they were hovering over the highway right outside of Quincy. And I was having to sort of dodge the Brotherhood because for whatever reason they were aggroed against me. And they shouldn't have been, because I hadn't done anything to them. They were just definitely aggroed against me. So they were showing up as red, and who was I with? What companion did I have? Because I feel like my companion at the time was like firing at them. Was it Deacon? It was probably Deacon. That's probably why. I do love Deacon. He is my buddy. But, Deacon does hate the Institute. What I want this to look like is that they basically just slapped some paint onto the side of their truck to paint their symbol over. There we go. That's looking pretty good. We'll do some not super detailed there. Someone is popping bubble wrap downstairs. There we go. And we'll do a wash on that. And before we do that, Let's paint their symbol on. For this, I'm gonna get my little brush. Hey.
Coffee.
I noticed that.
I like coffee.
Well, it has caffeine, and that is very useful.
Yeah. Looks like that truck is coming along.
Yeah, I got the paint onto the side. What do you think of the streaking in the bed?
Oh, cool.
See what I meant?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's been sort of tugged away, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put a wash over it. I am going to touch up those wheels, because the wheels I did get silver on them earlier. That's not the color I wanted at all. I put the black back. Before I sealed the Fallout figures, I did sort of try and do their eyes a little bit, touch up their eyes a bit. Not thrilled with them, but I sealed them because there's no way I'm gonna get the eyes. So, yeah, they're dry now, so I can show them off. There's my Vault Dweller. He is all done. There's my Wastelander. She is also done. My Brotherhood Outcast. My Super Mutant, look at him. And finally, the last one I did, my Ghoul. I'm still really, really pleased with the pinstripes on his vest. So yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to play Fallout using those figures. We'll have to do it on stream at some point. Alright, let's touch up the wheels on here. Well, as I was saying, I'm noticing that I'm expecting to get my butt kicked in places in Fallout that I'm not. I'm going into these areas being like, gonna have to be real cautious, gonna get my ass handed to me. And then I'm like one-shotting the guys that I was worried about. And I think it's because when I first played the game, I was hitting places without having done as much grinding. So I was hitting them far lower level than I really should have been. And that's why I was finding it so difficult to do the things that I was doing. That'll happen if you're not, high enough level. But yeah, now I'm doing things I'm just like, I'm gonna come kick your ass. All of a sudden, Gav got real loud. There we go. A little better. Now it's time to try and do the symbol on the side of the trucks. So yes, I was right. The blue is the railman. I just want big pictures of the symbols. It doesn't really have, I mean it does, but it's just a railroad crossing symbol. Oh, that's real tiny. But there we go. There's the railman. Let's do a little bit of a wash in the bed. A lot of dirt in the corners. There we go. All right. So there's the railmen and their truck of doom. I'm real happy with that. I think that came out just how I wanted. Thanks, honey. All right, so 9-9 or Bonesaw next. Red or green? It's sort of a bright green too. I think we'll use that olive. I don't really love any of these for this. I feel like this is the closest, but it's not nearly as bright. This is way too dark. Yeah, it's way too dark. Yeah, this does feel like an appropriate song for this game, doesn't it? I will ride through it all. What do you think, Andy? Green or red next? I'm feeling a lack of appropriate greens. I've got like the greens that I used for the Super Mutant skin, but they're not bright enough. But like the brighter greens aren't yellow enough. Or they're like way too bright. I mean, I guess it'll end up getting like... Because like these are my options for greens. So, red next? Okay. Red it is. We'll put those aside for now. So, red is a little tricky because it is a like bright red. I feel like because I'm gonna end up dirtying it up so much, I kind of need it to be like a bright red to start with, so I'm gonna use fire red and bright. Because one of the things that I found with the blue is that the blue definitely, I should have used like a slightly brighter blue, because dirtying it makes it, it just darkens it so much. So I'm using this as sort of a model for what I want to do. Let's pick a truck. I'm not looking forward to doing the 9-9 symbol. The 9-9 symbol is it's the upside down highway symbol. That's gonna be a pain to do. The railman was easy, it's a circle. And the bone saw is going to be easy too, because it's like a circle with a skull in the middle of it. I mean, the skull is the center, so. Yeah, you know what? Bone saw is going to be like negative space, that's going to be a giant pain. Anyway. The only proof I trust what I've seen. Alright, let's get started. We have some fire red here. Red I found needs a lot of shaking. Red is just, it needs a lot of shaking. The red pigment I think settles more. I find blue tends to be pretty decent. Green tends to be okay. The browns tend to be fine. But red and yellow are pain. That yellow school bus, I'm gonna have to do tan underneath it. You might have noticed, I normally prime in black. I primed Kira in gray. I'm not thrilled with the primer I used. I forget what it was, but it was tacky for a long time, way longer than I think it should have been. That is so bright! That may be a little too bright. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's one other thing I do want to do on the railman truck. One of the things I do want to do with the railman truck is go back over the windows, the front windshield. Because I actually want to go back over them with black so that I can make them glossy after I seal them. That's the other thing about red. Red, for whatever reason, wicks into my paintbrushes so much faster than like any other color. So when I'm painting with red, I have to be really cognizant of how frequently I'm rinsing my brushes off. I have someone talking to me in my other chat. Pardon me a moment while I see what my buddy wants. How long ago was that? Oh god, that was like 15 minutes ago. Oops. He'll understand. it's like Vistas that's playing. I can't tell. It's like the one Gav album I don't have. If you are watching this later, because I know I don't really have anyone right now, but if you're watching this later, and you want to know what this music is, the music is Miracle of Sound, which is a one-man band out of Ireland, run by a guy named Gavin Dunn. Gav is a really amazing artist and absolutely fantastic musician. He does all this himself. Like, he does all of this himself. He frequently will ask, like, people to come and do, like, guest vocals on his stuff. Especially if it's a vocal that he doesn't feel like he can definitely do. Like, there were definitely the Wonder Woman song he did. He does a lot of, like, movie and video game inspired music. And when he did the Wonder Woman song, he had a friend come in and do vocals. And it's a gorgeous song. I don't know if that one's in this mix. This is a mix off of Andy's computer, not mine. And that's probably for the best, because while I have all of his stuff, not all of his stuff is necessarily live stream friendly. I feel like I need to be using a bigger brush for this particular nonsense. There we go. Why do it with little tiny brush strokes when I can actually get legit coverage? I'm not going to use this brush for like the whole truck, but for the flat bed of a truck, yeah, I think it's perfectly acceptable. Oh, I was disconnected. Super. That's super. Did the stream go down? No. Yeah, it looks fine. I was disconnected for a moment there, apparently. Good to know. So back to Fallout, because I could never talk enough about Fallout. And the dippiest stuff showed up in the Game Trade magazine, and I have to make some decisions about what I want for miniatures for the Modiphius figures. I'm not prepared to make these decisions. Not prepared at all. I need to do some research into what comes in the intro set, like what comes into the starter set, and make some decisions about what faction I might want to play. It's hard because I don't know anything about like how the different factions are going to work mechanically. You know, like you'd think you'd know how the Brotherhood is supposed to work in in the Fantasy Flight game, because the Brotherhood, right, like you're wearing power armor, you're a tank. So shouldn't a tank be able to just wade into the damage and go fight stuff? Except as it turns out, the mechanic that they decided to go with for the Brotherhood is you start out with, like, I think you start out with armor? No, you start out with something, you must start out with something else. I'll have to look. But you can only move one space at a time, whereas everyone else gets to move two, unless you pay caps. So we kind of joked at that the Brotherhood Outcast has coin-op power armor. He has to plug coins into his shoulder in order for his power armor to move. And that was a little disappointing for my friend who played as a Brotherhood of Steel character, because she loves the Brotherhood of Steel as a faction in the video game and was very used to getting power armor and just tanking her way through the game, which you can do once you have power armor. It's something that I've consciously been trying to avoid doing in my current playthrough, because it's definitely what I have done in the past, and I was like, I want to try something different. I want to not be just tanking my way through things. Though there are a few moments where I was like, okay, time to put on the power armor so that I don't get my ass kicked. But there's definitely, I was like, I'm gonna try and do things without just relying on the power armor. And that's, you know, once you have a good set of XO1, why take it off? If you don't have to like sleep or use a computer, why would you? Aside from like, you know, wanting the challenge of it. But that was sort of what she was used to doing, I think, and so she picked the Brotherhood character for the Fantasy Flight game, thinking that was going to be the sort of character that it is. But as it turns out, because you can't move as fast, it's harder for you to like go into battle. It's just the figure doesn't move fast enough for you to constantly be like racing into every fight that comes along. And that was not what she was expecting, and I think it was a little disappointing to her. And I understand that, I totally get that. Did I not paint that entire... I didn't paint this. Or this. I'm so smart. Anyway, we'll go back to that. Did I paint it on the other side? Not really. I think I left it like black and messy on purpose for that, but definitely not that. Anyway, I think she was disappointed, and I understand that. I totally 100% get it. But that's what I mean by not knowing exactly what the mechanics of the Modiphius game are going to be. Are the Brotherhood going to be like slow moving but tanky? Are they going to be like, who's gonna do what? I mean, from the looks of the pieces, like they're not just Brotherhood knights in armor, they're also like scribes and stuff. So you have different types of characters, so one assumes that you're gonna have like your scouts and stuff, and you can do different things. I just don't know how they're each going to play out. And I don't know which faction is really going to complement my personal playstyle. And then there's the fact that I've never played a miniature wargaming game before. It's just not my, not something I've gotten into. I have a coworker who's super into it. He's really into the lore behind like all the Warhammer stuff. And he'll come talk to me about it because he knows I know like a little bit, but I think sometimes he thinks I know more than I know. So he'll be like, oh, so you know this. I'm like, no. Just because I know some doesn't mean I know all. It's not my personal game of choice, so I'm not like super conversant in it. But he enjoys talking about it, so I'm happy to let him. Because he's so excited about it, and I get the feeling he doesn't really get to chat with like a lot of people, especially at work, about that sort of stuff. Which can be rough. It can be really rough to feel like, man, I don't have people to like tell my favorite stuff to. Not like I'm like going around work talking about fan fiction and stuff, but still. I'm just saying. I think this was definitely the right shade of red to use, because once I get a second coat on, it's going to be super bright. And then I'm going to take it down with I'm going to take it down a notch with a wash and with some rust and dirt, grime. So the trick is, with the green and the blue trucks, it can very much be like, okay, the dirt and rust sort of highlight color is red. It's rust red. But with red, you can't really do that as easily. So. Ah, you looked up the contents of the 2-player box, and what is in it? What factions does it come with? Is it like super mutants? Super mutant hounds. A Deathclaw. Super. That's what I want to encounter right out of the box. I can't wait to paint that. So it has a Deathclaw. Good times, good times. Four Wastelanders, a Dogmeat, and a Brotherhood of Steel member. Alright, so let's think about this. So the starter box, the 2-player box, has 3 super mutants, 2 super mutant hounds, and a Deathclaw. 4 Wastelanders, a Dogmeat. I like how you say 1 Dogmeat, as if there's multiple Dogmeats. There's only ever 1 Dogmeat. And a Brotherhood of Steel member. So, let's take a quick painting break, folks. Let's look at what's coming out. So what's listed here, we have Brotherhood of Steel, and it looks like there's 1 knight, or like paladin. There's someone who's in like a full suit of power armor. It looks like maybe T-51. It looks like some like scribes and some knights outside of power armor. There's the Super Mutant Corps, which has a couple of hounds and like 4 different Super Mutant molds. There's the Survivors Corps. That looks like it has like a Minuteman. It looks like it has Ronnie. I would be totally on board having Ronnie. Ronnie Shaw. And then there's Brotherhood of Steel Knight, Knight Captain Cade, and Paladin Dance, along with an Eyebot. That could be interesting. There's some super mutants with a super mutant with a sledgehammer and a mutant hound. Boston Companions that look like they're X6, Piper, and Kate. Where's Hancock? I want Hancock. He's a Boston Companion. You get him in Good Neighbor. Side-eyeing you, Modiphius. And Survivor Heroes of Sanctuary Hills, which looks like Dogmeat, the Survivor in Codsworth. And then there's more Knights and 3 Super Mutant Suiciders. So, yeah, that does sound... Is that how many Super Mutants? There are more, because the Super Mutant Corps has like 5 Super Mutants and 2 Hounds. So you get a few more Super Mutants there. And the Survivors have 8. And a Brotherhood of Steel. Yeah, they're like a mix. So if the core set comes with Super Mutants and Survivors, I think I need I'm not really super attached to Codsworth. I like Codsworth, but I never travel with him. I'll probably want to get like the Survivors core set to bulk out the Survivors, the Boston Companions, and the Super Mutant with the sledgehammer. It's not even a super sledge, it's just a regular sledgehammer. God, get it together. Dick Valentine. I'm guessing, I'm assuming it's supposed to be Nick Valentine, but he is a private dick, so that's actually really hilarious. A friend of mine has his last day of work at his current job today, which is that's actually exciting, so. He's packing up his car right now. All right, back to painting. Machiavelli, still acquaint my intellect, a potato, is it fall apart without my avalanche lie? I tell you I'm a half-wit, it's a great big bloody lie. Don't call me a moron. No, don't call me a moron. My life is the infinite space from here to the moon. I got to see Gav do this song live the first time. Was it the first Escapist Expo? He was performing this as I walked into the room the concert was in. The Escapist Expos were Chaos? Chaos, I think, is probably putting it nicer. I mean, we had a great time, but they were very Wild West in a way. They just felt very, very all over the place. I, at some point, will make a chance to ask some folks for some inside track info on those. They sound like they were just like fly by the seat of your pants sort of situations. And this is the other song I saw him play live that night that sticks in my memory. Probably one of my best live music memories ever. Like, this performed live was, I think, what made me a fan of his. Excuse me. Yeah, this song was amazing live. And at one point, the lights went out accidentally, and like the strobes and stuff came up also, like right at the same time. And it was just really, really impressive. It looked really great. And it was just one of those moments. It happens when you're like in a concert. Corners are being awfully difficult here. It's like this paint just doesn't want to stay in corners. Yeah, man, that red just like wicked right into that brush. God. I'm not proud of that. That's red for you though. So I'm gonna have to come up with, I think it's gonna be like black. It's gonna be how this gets dirtied. It's just gonna be It's looking pretty good. I just throw my paintbrush at my hands. All right. I did consider doing the interior as the wood as well, but it isn't like textured with the wood, so I finally decided no, you know what, they've just strapped the wood on top of it. I feel pretty good about the red parts of that truck. Yeah, it's really red. Hey, you wanted me to do red next, so. I'm gonna take this advantage of having this. And I think on that one I'm going to leave the front bar black. Do black there. This is why I can't paint at home. And it's because I have a cat, and her fur is everywhere. Like that one little hair was super annoying and in my way. If I was at home, it'd be everywhere. Getting so focused I'm not talking, so I apologize for that. I'm gonna have to go around and touch up some of this. Yeah, cat hair everywhere. It would be horrible. Sorry, I have to deal with the text. Okay. I decided to just do the undercarriages of the trucks pretty uniform, just dark metallic. It's easier than trying to sort of figure out what to do with them. Who's gonna look at them like me? So long, and weather this time, so young, and breaking my stride. Another time. While I'm at this, I might as well do the undercarriage of this one. Have the paint out. End of the time. Just the rules. Whoa. Might as well have used up the last of that I had to do that. Okay, let's see. Let's do some red touch-ups. The red has sort of thickened, so that might work to our advantage. Huh. Hey, Andy. I don't know if you're listening, but the music just stopped abruptly. And I don't know why.
Let's see if we can figure out why there's no music all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like,
Ah!
oh, geez, sorry. It wasn't in the song or anything.
I mean, it was in the middle of The Man Who Rocked the World.
Repeat.
It was in the middle of The Man Who Rocked the World, like.
That's so weird.
One more song.
Well, it's working now. I don't know why it paused.
Yeah, weird.
Good song, too.
Yeah. Bizarre. All right. I'm gonna have to let that white dry and then like go back over it again. I don't want quite as much black on this one as like an accent. I'm trying to go for grays and stuff because I'm going to be using black wash to dirty it up. So I'm trying to go for grays and stuff. A little more black. Okay. It's looking pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy with a lot of that. All right, let's make it dirty. We are going to do some rust on it, which means I need to mix up some of that. Wood. Let's do the wood. I have to go back over that metal. I should never have done that in the first place. Yeah, the song does fit the game. Thank you, Andy.
Splash, bang, so corrosive, don't get close if it's explosive. Flash, gang, caustic crew, simmer and smoke in electric blue.
That was not what I intended to do.
Soon to reap the seeds you sow.
You know what they say? Better die at the wheel, crash and burn. Die when you're not in your car. I hate you, Claptrap. Come down and join the party tonight. We ain't got time to fool with the fight. Chips on the shoulder, sweat and dirt on our hands. 'Cause we're breaking down the borders as we light up the land, yeah. This song because it starts out so nice and soft, and then it doesn't stay that way. Rolls down over the plains.
On a hose, the battle won, is it just fortune now through the thunder and rain?
These men of the north, they have suffered too long. Blood swells in their veins.
Of the spirit generals of lost warriors, songs to
That goes are all that remain. And my voice is my virus. God's song in our ears. All right. Let's do a little bit of dry brushing. Taking a part of your power. All right, I think it's time for a wash. So we're gonna do a non-oil wash on this one. We'll see how that goes. I just realized I didn't do the highlighting or anything on that wood. I keep forgetting the wooden panel on the left-hand side of the car. I have also completely neglected my tea. I think, aside from the symbol on the side, the truck is fairly close to done. wall. The white wall. Yeah, I did do that thing part. Yeah, I noticed that too, Andy. Someone downstairs has the same or a similar noise to the bit notification noise, so I keep hearing it and being like, all right, how do I want to handle this green? It's gonna end up dirty, so let's go for the neon green and see what happens. That is a bright green. Let's see. dun, dun, dun. This is going to need to dry a fair amount before I do another coat. That green is just picking right up as soon as I touch it again. So that's going to go sit over there for a little bit. Well, all right. Let's look at Kira. I think it's time to play around with her. She's going to need a whole host of different greens. A lot of yellowy greens, but greens nonetheless. Some olives. Hey! It's going okay. You have ice cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Travis. Everybody being me and Andy.
Well, at some point, you can play it whether it's on stream or not on stream.
Cool. I am painting my Wasteland Express trucks.
So you're done with Fallout then at this point,
Fallout is done. That's them right there if you want to come take a peek at them. They're sealed and everything and they're dry, so
that's
you can pick them up and poke at them. I sealed them when we got here today, so they're done. As done as they're getting.
I still love the Converse, the Chuck Taylors
Gotta have the Chucks. Gotta get there.
It's just one of those like immediately identifiable type things.
Mm-hmm.
You got detail on the pit boy and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that took some doing. That was, the Pip-Boy was not easy. That's like the third iteration of that. That was, oops, black paint.
And just a little spot of green for the power core on it. Yep.
It would actually a much bigger spot of green and then black.
And then you did the cross over it rather than trying to. Yeah.
I tried that first and that didn't work. And so then I went back and did the different technique on that. That is not a yellow enough green. Kira is wearing some very yellowy greens here.
Those are great. And the Dapper Ghoul was
the Dapper Ghoul, yeah, with his pinstripe vest.
And the pocket watch chain and everything. Oh,
those pinstripes. That was,
I can imagine.
Maybe not my wisest choice, but it was, I'm glad it turned out okay.
Even the additional details, like getting, like, you know, the darkened veins and every, oh. You know, and
yeah.
It's one of those things, like, it's always amazing to see this potential of, like, extra flavor brought out through miniatures, and it takes a skilled hand to do it, which I don't have.
Well, I'm a neophyte still, but it's fun. And these are, so that truck is done. That's the railman truck.
Yeah, I got the railroad sign on the
yep.
side there.
Yeah, I had to freehand that, but...
And like just enough wear in the bed to show that.
So I'm so glad you like that because I'm really happy with how that one turned out. And this is the 9.9, which is not quite done yet, but almost done.
And like, even the other thing, I've only taken a look at Wasteland Express passively before.
Mm-hmm.
But like even looking at it now that it's detailed and painted, like the weaponry never really stood out to me before. Like
and
the mounted gun and rockets.
This is still a tiny bit wet from the wash, but mostly in the bed. And the cow catcher in the front.
No,
so I need to do the symbol for the 99 on the side of it now. But
it adds, like I said, it just adds this awesome level of flavor that.
And I just started the neon green for the.
And I know it's like you have to stick
the
to
bone
the
saw.
colors, but
well,
it's like neon green feels so out of place in the Wasteland.
It feels out of place. The thing is, this red here was this.
Ooh.
Because you dirty it up a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of
it's
like
the same thing with the Fallout, too.
putting washes on it and dry brushing it. I am about to sneeze. I could feel it. It'll come. But yeah, I was like,
warning stream.
there's no good like yellowy green that isn't that bright, because otherwise you're talking already that dirty looking.
Like almost like a foresty type of.
And that was what the super mutant skin was. So if you look at his skin, and you think that's the green that should be this green.
Oh, then yeah, you're trying to stay faithful to the rule book and everything.
I'm trying to stay as close to the green in the book as possible, and the blue and the red, and they're not as bright as that on the trucks. I wanted them to be dingy looking.
Right, and if you're gonna put the wash over it anyway, then.
But with a wash,
way more than I do.
with a wash, that'll come down. It won't be quite as eye searing as it is right now.
Well, hey, I'll let you keep doing your thing.
Well, I'm about to start the dark crystal figures while that dries, because that green paint, you go over it with a second coat and it just picks it all up and wipes it away with the brush. So it has to.
You gotta let those.
You can get away with some colors going over them while they're still a little wet. Not that green. No, it's just gonna gone.
And all that work.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I gotta do another coat now.
That's sad days.
So now I'm gonna try getting Kira done here, and so here's the thing about the labyrinth figures. The figures as molded matched the cards almost exactly in terms of pose and outfit and everything. That's Kira in the picture that the card gets. This is Kira in the figure. One, she has Fizzgig in her arms, so that's not the same. Two, she's got her hood up. That's not the same. And her wings are folded at her back. That's not the same. So
you have like color reference. And
I have color reference to know like what color her wings should be and what color her cloak is. But she's got all of these like yellowy greens that I just do not have in this box. So I may need to hold off on her and look into that. Or I could try mixing my own, which is his own brand of difficult and fun.
Because then you find that perfect color and you go, I need more of it.
And now I have to make more, yeah. Yeah, which is why
you never get the same mix twice.
No, which is why like I don't really mind that, because she's got a lot of variation on her. But it also means that I really like it. I've got to make it and use it and then be happy with it, and then that's gonna be it. Jen, on the other hand, is like tans and blues, so he's got a ton of detail on his figure. His figure is like, look at that nonsense.
Oh, there's so much.
Yeah.
Like gilding and indentations and. Oh.
Fortunately, it's all like meant to be like leather work and stuff.
So more like embossing.
It's gonna be browns, and then I'm gonna put a brown wash on it, and it'll fill in those crevices and make that darker part.
So yeah, I was gonna say so more.
It's gonna be a lot of, oh look, I need to go over this with tan again.
Right, it's gonna be brownish, but then like trying to work in highlights or something like
exactly,
that.
Exactly, yeah.
They're not like full-on contrasting colors.
Exactly, yeah. It's like tone on tone stuff.
Yeah, which now that I'm looking at the image a little.
You look at it and you're like, oh, okay, I can see it's like, cut work, not.
Right.
Fortunately, not like lots of intricate things that I have to freehand. His leggings I'll have to freehand the cross-hatching on, but yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a good time. Be like the pinstripes.
Yeah. Well, you know, all in the name of doing the hobby and getting better as you go.
Yeah, learning new techniques.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna.
And you know what? As long as you're enjoying it, right? Take the
I
Bob
am.
Ross approach.
I am having a lot of fun with it, and I'm happy with how most of them are coming out. So, yeah. That green though, it's killing me right now. I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's so bright. Just even with one coat, it's so bright.
But you know what? That's.
But I know what I'm like. I know why it's that bright.
Yeah. Like I said, like when I think Wasteland, I don't think that color. But
Yeah, you don't think neon green.
But at the same time, if you're trying to actually stay faithful to the pond colors and the, you know, what they reference in the book, then no, you're pretty well on. So.
And it's that when you move around on the tiles, so you can see the tiles up here. When you move around on the tiles, some of the tiles have the symbols for the different raiders. So they do have to have a visual cue of which truck is which.
Well, unless you want to start painting the board.
Oh.
It was a joke.
But yeah, the board, I actually really love the artwork on the tiles in Wasteland Express, so yeah. I'm gonna do like maybe another hour, and then I'm gonna pause.
We're gonna play flip shifts, that'll be great.
And we'll play flip shifts.
I'll be downstairs if you need me.
Okay, Travis. Thank you for coming up. What to do, what to do, what to do. Let's see what we can do with her. She's got really pale skin. She is like as pale as it gets, but she's also warm toned. I'm gonna say she's got, we're gonna go with like the fair skin. Yeah, that's definitely her. The funny part is her sort of pulling her her cloak aside. I know precisely the moment in the movie that that's supposed to be. It's just not the one on the card. There's of hair in my brush. No. Again, sudden, really loud gasp. Her hair is like the palest yellow. That's too dark. Like, it is the palest yellow. We're going to use golden blonde and add like white to it. She is blowing out the white levels. Oh. mean, the card is a decent one, Andy. It's just that it's a different pose. Actually, yeah, let's do this. We do halls of stone, alone in a rise and easy across the now, losing civilization's dust down. Wash it away on the wasteland when we're waking on this day. Wash it away. Waking on this day. Tin cans and bottle caps and twisted steel. Hey, Travis.
Sorry, just wanted to focus
No worries.
here for now. So open it up, take a look at the rules. Super simple, super quick.
Awesome.
Yep. Because, you know, I have that collector's problem of, oh my god, it's on sale!
I've gotta have it! I have to buy it now!
Yeah, and then when we actually started talking about it, I was like, wait a second. I have this game.
I haven't opened it.
The first step to solving problems is maybe you have one. I'll get there one day.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem. If it causes an issue in your life, it's a problem.
No.
There you go. Then you don't have.
Too much happiness to cause problems.
There you go. Then you don't have a problem. Everything's fine.
Meeple Circus also plays fairly quick, so maybe multi-game inside.
We could definitely see about doing that. I have a bit of a headache, so we'll see how my head is feeling.
Yeah. We'll see how the night plays out.
Cool. I'm trying to work fast with this cloak because I've mixed a color and I like it, but I don't have that much of it and it's drying out. I want to at least have the base coat all be the same, so that even if I end up having to shift when I do like the next coat of it, I've got the base coat uniform. This is quite the baby poop color here that I've got going. Yeah, it's not awesome, but I like the color that I got, so I think that's the base coat done. It is definitely a baby poop green.
I know. I miss her all the time.
Okay. I think she's actually looking pretty good, considering. And now it's time for Fizzgig. Fizzgig is a sort of cocoa brown. It's a nice warm brown that I'm then going to highlight up. Because he's got a lot of fluff. Yeah. So I think I'm going to finish up the base coat on Fizzgig here. And maybe do like another coat of green on that truck. And then I'm going to finish up the stream, I think. My head's hurting a little bit, which isn't great because I've had caffeine now. There we go. She's looking pretty good, I think. She's not in focus because like the white levels are super blown out on here. We're gonna do a quick base coat on the actual like parchmenty color that they're standing on, because they actually have like then a dark brown. Did I really just do that? I did. I did. I totally didn't just drop my model. I didn't do that. Who would do that? Who would drop a freshly painted model? Yeah, nothing. I didn't do that. Oh. Yeah, I'm getting tired and my head is hurting, so I'm making like stupid mistakes at this point. So I think it is time to maybe call the stream as soon as Andy gets up here. But I think the bare bones of her is pretty good. I like how she's looking. Yeah. think she's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with where she's at right now. We're gonna put her aside. I'm gonna get some more of this neon green. Wait for Andy to come and turn things off, because I don't really want to like unmic myself while I'm on, and it's way over there. Is there something left to say? What if find ourselves in the
Sounds like you're gonna call it a day?
I think so. I've done a lot of painting today.
Yeah.
And
You've got 2 trucks done.
well, I finished the blue truck. I got the green truck started. I finished the red truck. I did get some base coat done on Kira, and I'm pretty happy with how she's looking right now. She's wet, so. But yeah, I'm just doing sort of a second coat of bright neon green on this truck.
Yeah, the red truck looks good now. It was really bright.
It was super bright, but then you make it dirty.
Yep.
So you really do have to start bright, because otherwise, once you dirty it down, it's going to end up being like super muddy looking.
I'm hoping that's going to be the case with my frost troll.
I think it will be.
It looks garish now, but that's because it's the base coat.
Yeah, because you're always going to be like doctoring it later. Yeah. You're going to be like highlighting, and you're going to be washing and dry brushing. You're going to be doing all sorts of extra stuff on top of that base coat that will change it.
Base too.
Yeah, so the reason I did the base on her, this was a very specific reason, which is that the primer was very tacky still. It was like sticking to my fingers. I was leaving fingerprints on it.
All right, well, let's not use that stuff again.
Yeah, not thrilled with it. So, yeah, let me just finish up this green second coat, and then we're good. And then I'm gonna need to put in headphones because it just got really noisy downstairs, and I have a headache.
Yeah.
And there's.
Have any headache drops with me?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a leave in my bag, so that's fine. But I need quiet, and that is suddenly very not quiet, and I cannot leave. So.
I mean, you could, but you'd have to come back.
I'd have to come like right back. So that's not really worth it. Like that is some angry music downstairs.
Like back when you were in shop.
We didn't go this angry. All right, that looks ugly, but it's going to be fine. Yeah, it's going to start out ugly, but yeah. So thank you for watching. I hope you had fun watching me paint, and I will most likely be back next week.
Yeah,
hopefully
next Saturday, possibly.
Yes,
all right.
Entirely likely. So,
bye,
yeah.
everybody.
Bye.